We are currently on our way to Zichang, and we just had to stop. One, because my GoPro battery died and my memory cards were it was just being dumb, so I had to stop and fix my GoPro. The ride down here was so beautiful that hopefully I'm able to get footage from Sun, because my GoPro wasn't working, so I wasn't able to take any footage. But the ride down here so far has been absolutely stunning. I mean, check out the view here. Sun's actually down there by that bridge, shooting her drone. So I'm actually gonna go down there and join her in a second here. Yeah, it turns out my GoPro battery just died for some reason, and I had to recharge it. And then the memory card was also full, which is weird because I could have sworn I offloaded it. But so we have about a 6-hour ride today to Zichang. I think I'm saying that right, probably not. But we have a 6-hour ride. We're about an hour into it. It's been nothing but gorgeous. I don't really think shooting with my camera is gonna do it that much justice. So hopefully I will be including some drone footage right after this. Sun is totally killing it. You can't even see it in this video. Wow. One thing I gotta say though, my favorite thing about having this bike is this case. It is so convenient and super cool to have. Yeah, I think it's like my favorite part about traveling. I mean, honestly, having the suitcases and stuff too, it's just epic, because not needing to have to like take apart my bag just to grab stuff is crazy. Though I do have way too much stuff. Like I have like my actual travel bag here, and then this waterproof bag is full of like more riding clothes. In my travel bag, I pretty much just have all my useless stuff that I'm not going to need at all while I'm traveling here, like shorts and stuff like that. And then in the trunk, we have it divided up by use priority. So like the things you're going to grab every day are in here, and then the things you want to grab like every so often, or you just need to take out like when you get to a location, are here. And then the things you don't really want to use are usually stored here. I don't really know why that's the thing, but every biker I've met has told me to follow that protocol. But they say it's because like when you open up the briefcases, whatever bag you have here is going to block it. But I guess my bags are small enough because I can open both no problem. So yeah, but that's it in a nutshell. We continue our ride, and I managed to somewhat get my GoPro working. It's throwing out these memory errors and saying that the SD card that I've had this entire time, by the way, is now incompatible to write footage in 4K 60 FPS, which, like I said before, is odd because I've been writing to this memory card shooting the exact same thing this entire time. Now it just lets me record in 1-minute intervals before stopping and automatically shutting down. The inevitable ended up happening on this journey. Rain. We pulled over in the middle of the road under an overhanging tree and suited up in our rain gear. This gear is actually pretty incredible, and compared to the mediocre attempt at rain gear I had while in Vietnam, this was a huge luxury to say the least. It felt incredible riding in the rain and being able to feel the raindrops just drip off your arms while you're riding. It was a pretty surreal experience. Eventually, when the rain did let up, it became incredibly stuffy wearing all that rain gear, and I begged Sun to park so we could take off our rain gear. We stopped to take off our raincoats, and now I'm helping Sun shoot some videos for her TikTok content. And we found this really cool little like abandoned, I don't think they're abandoned, but just like shacky type buildings. And we're just kind of hanging out here now and stretching our legs. It is really hot though. Compared to where we start, it was a lot hotter. I mean, it is a lot hotter. Man, I can't talk. But I guess it kind of works out because all our clothes need to kind of dry because we got rained on pretty hard before we could put on our gear. So that's good. But yeah, other than that, just making good time and yeah, the ride today was beautiful and super fun. So that's super exciting.
Before I came to China, Sun reached out to some different Chinese motorcycle brands and told them about our journey and what we were going to do. Some of them had offered to lend us gear in exchange for her shooting some advertisements for them, which, in my opinion, is a really sick and easy deal if you ask me.
Something else I'm also having troubles with is my GoPro. It seems like the memory card is like fried or corrupted or something, because I keep getting errors and it keeps freezing on me when I'm trying to shoot videos. So once we get into town, I'm gonna have to buy a new memory card, which is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie, because memory cards are still pricey, and even though everything is made in China, it feels like a lot of electronics are actually more expensive here than they are back in the States. Like comparing it on Amazon, at least, it feels like it's still like maybe $20 or $30 more expensive, which I know in the grand scheme of things isn't that big of a deal, but it's still a little bit annoying, especially when you have to buy like another 256 gigabyte, like ultra fast SD card. That way you can record 4K video without it freezing. So yeah, oh well, I guess that's the cost of doing business here.
Once we wrapped up shooting, hanging out, and stretching our legs, we continued for the remaining 4 hours of our journey. My GoPro was still acting funny, so I wasn't able to capture too much footage while riding. Though, overall, the ride wasn't super eventful, and it was pretty, but it was just a ride. The one really cool thing that happened during the ride was that when dusk came, we rode through this area that was nothing but windmills and greenhouses. And honestly, that was super cool. It was such a cool vibe, and the atmosphere was incredible. And fortunately, Sun was able to record something on her GoPro because mine wasn't working. We didn't reach Zichang until pretty well into the evening. Our first order of business once we were in the city was getting something to eat. Zichang is famous for barbecue, and Sun specifically wanted to take me to one of the most famous barbecue restaurants in the city.
So we made it to town after the longest day of riding by far, and now we're gonna get some dinner. We're gonna try this barbecue place that's right behind me. Apparently, it is the most famous place in town, so that's exciting, and I'm pretty pumped to go there and try this barbecue. We also got some pretty awesome parking, because we are right here, and then the restaurant is literally right here, and hopefully the noise isn't too bad. Oh, it's a Harley Davidson.
Chinese barbecue works exactly like Korean barbecue or pretty much any other Asian barbecue place.
Kanpei.
You get a menu and you can pick and choose what you want to grill. They bring you the raw meat or sides and you can cook it yourself. We ended up ordering chicken feet, chicken thigh, flank steak, pork belly, various amount of root veggies, and of course, mantou.
Now we have a full load of stuff on the grill, and that right there is what I named myself. That's mantou. That's steamed bun. Another reason why I feel like the biker community, especially the Chinese biker community here, is really, really cool, because the owner of the barbecue place that we've been eating at saw that we came on motorcycles, and he owns a Harley Davidson. So as like a thank you and just like a commemorative thing, he gave us a carton of milk each, which apparently is a really common thing you drink here with barbecue. Because I saw a bunch of other people drinking milk with their barbecue, which I personally thought was weird, but you know, when in Rome, right? So this is the damage of our barbecue, and we still have a lot more to go, but yeah, look at this carton of milk. That's pretty cool. Okay, so after trying the milk, it's not actually like milk. It kind of tastes more like you're drinking a more liquidy yogurt, and it's delicious. And it's like and it's just the right amount of sweetness, and it's actually really refreshing. Now I totally understand why people are drinking it.
After dinner, we make our way to the hotel, where we go through the usual theme of trying to check in. Normally, in literally any other country, that wouldn't be a problem at all. But in China, they actually restrict and have rules for foreigners. So I can't just stay in any old hotel. I have to stay in hotels that are approved to allow foreigners. When we arrive at this hotel, Sun first needed to see if they'll even allow me to stay in the hotel, because apparently there's so much paperwork that a hotel needs to fill out just to allow me to stay that a lot of hotels just don't want to deal with it. Fortunately, this hotel didn't seem to care at all, and aside from waiting 20 minutes for them to process my passport and all my documents, it was a super easy experience. The next morning, I decided to start the day by taking a walk around the hotel alone. and during my walk, I happened to stumble upon a small noodle shop. So I did the only thing I knew what to do in that particular moment was go in and get another amazing bowl of noodles. I mean, seriously, look at this thing. Every bowl of noodles I've had in China so far has been completely different from every other bowl I've had previously. Our plan for the day was to go and check out the Dashiban ancient town, which was on the outskirts of the city on the other side of the Qionghai Lake. Yeah, I know I'm probably saying that 100% wrong, but it's the best that I can do. Something I've noticed is just how clean the cities are for the most part. Yeah, there are some areas that are more run down than others, but in general, I've been pretty surprised with just how clean everything is. I remember reading on Reddit and a few blogs before coming here that apparently Chinese traffic and Chinese drivers were crazy. Now, I know there's outliers everywhere and that there's crazy people everywhere, but from what I've been seeing and from the video footage that you're seeing, everything's been pretty chill for me. Though, there are CCTV cameras everywhere, and that may or may not be a reason or a factor as to why everyone is driving very nicely here. But who knows? Once we make it to the old town, Sun suggests that we ride our bikes through one of the walking streets to scope out the area and find parking. I ask her if that's allowed, and she just responds with, "Well, why wouldn't it be?" And I had a very valid response to that question, but I decided that it would be best not to say anything or ask anything else, and I just followed her as we rode through the street. As we rode, I noticed a bunch of smaller scooters and people riding through that road, and I realized that two-wheeled vehicles were more than likely allowed to cross through here, which is why she said that. Once we figured out where we were going to park, Sun throws another curveball at me. She asks me if I want to fly my drone here. And I'm so used to the rules of you're not allowed to fly in cities or over residential buildings without a permit, without all this and yada yada yada, that I didn't even think about it. But apparently it didn't matter here, and that's just exactly what we did.
Oh, oh, oh. Can she do it? Can she do it? Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Can she land it? Yeah, she's got this. Easy. But anyways, yeah, we just finished flying our drones, and now we're gonna go check out the old village and probably walk around for a little bit. And yeah, after that, probably get dinner. We pretty much didn't do anything today. We just kind of hung out at the hotel and both kind of had to do some logistical things with our GoPro footage and just all our other camera footage. My GoPro was acting stupid the past few days, but I think the problem was my memory card just needed to be formatted, and it seems to be working okay, so we'll just have to see about that. But if not, then just have to get a new memory card. It's a SanDisk, and from what I was reading, SanDisk released like a really bad batch of memory cards, and they've just been having a ton of corruptions and stuff like that. So hopefully mine isn't one of them, but if it is, then I'll just replace it and then move on with my life. But yeah, we're gonna go check out the old village now and see if we can get any cool photos and whatnot. And yeah. What are your first thoughts? Do you like it or no? So for an old town, this looks like a pretty new building. They still look cool though. So there's a really cool mural here. I have no idea what it's about, but it looks sick. It's really detailed too, especially the trees. But it still doesn't really feel like an old village. And from flying the drone, it felt like a really lackluster town, but walking around it looks pretty cool. So that's a really cool looking hotel. But yeah, This town seems like it's closing already. And, well, I guess it's 7 o'clock. I'm so used to being in Indonesia where the sun sets at like 6 that now being here so late in the day feels weird. Finished checking out the ancient town, and both of us thought it was pretty lackluster. It was cool, but not like as cool as we thought it would be. But we did a little bit of a photo shoot, which was pretty cool. And yeah, now we're gonna go check out another old town on the other side of town, and hopefully that's gonna be cooler. But I don't know if you can tell by like the clouds, it looks like it's gonna rain. So that might dampen our plans. There we go. But yeah, we're gonna just move on with it and see what happens. So after driving, we made it to Torch Square instead of the other little ancient town we were gonna go to, mainly because it was on the way and we just happened to stumble upon it. So here we are, and we're gonna hang out here, take some pictures. Sun brought her drone, which I think flying a drone at night is kind of dumb because I don't think it has a good sensor. So I'll see if she gets anything cool, and if she does get anything cool, I'm gonna steal it and put it in my video, because pretty much everything that we're shooting, we're kind of sharing between each other. So yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty cool, and I think I'm gonna have like a wider array of shots for the videos I'm making now, because I can actually ask somebody for help to try and shoot something or do something that I want to shoot, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, check out this place. So like, these are the torches apparently, and I was kind of hoping that there'd be fire, but it's still pretty cool. I don't know the significance of it yet, but I'll figure that out. There's a ton of people here though, so it's definitely like a very popular thing to check out. Sun just explained to me what's the significance of these torches, and apparently they're supposed to represent all 56 different minority groups or like ethnic groups that make up China today. And yeah, so each pillar just represents one of those groups, which I think is pretty cool. And it's kind of hard to tell or hard to see in the video, but I'll turn it around here in a second. But each pillar also contains some symbols from that minority group, or at least that's what Sun's saying. So there's no actual like post or anything here that's telling me what any of this actually means. But yeah, I think it's really cool that they do that. That's pretty much all there is here. And I think it's just like a square where people hang out at now because it's a really big area. Oh look, there's Sun being an influencer over there. She's like really big on TikTok here, so that's cool. But yeah, I think now the plan is just to move on. I'm the only white person here, so that's pretty cool. Everyone just keeps staring at me all the time, just walking around, because I stick out like a sore thumb here apparently. You're gonna fly your drone?
Yeah.
Never mind, we're gonna hang out and fly her drone and have to make sure she doesn't crash it anyway. But it's like a very clear open sky, and unless she flies it into one of the pillars, I highly doubt she'll crash it. But you actually never know. You actually really never know. I really feel like you could just fuck it up really bad.